So welcome back, and today we're going to discuss. Um, well, we see a lot of dating coaches that discuss ways to get that girl or get that guy, uh, but a lot of times we don't work on the challenges that we have, like our weaknesses and things that cost us time, that ruin our relationships, and things that we deal with. So what do you do after you play these games? You make that person like or love you, and then now you're with them. So what if you have trust issues? What if you have you lack confidence, or you have self-doubts, and there's not a lot of chemistry or emotional connection? Then what do you do after that? When you get this person, and then now you're with them. So now you use all these tips and this coaching, you went to these seminars, and then now you're with that person, and now there's this shell shock of they're not who I want, or maybe I don't like this about them, or this is not working out, or what if you start living together and this is not the right, things are just not adding up. That's why the most ideal situation is to be friends first, to be good friends first, so you get to know that person very well. You have your discussions, you talk and you go out and you're supportive of each other, and then it's kind of the things that you like and you don't like, and then you actually like the dislikes, because you like things that maybe, even though that you don't like it, that you could it's not even accepting it, it's just that you find value in dislikes. So many times these dating coaches get you to play the games, like the hot and cold, or you're going to do this, or you're going to play this little trick, you're going to do this text message, you're going to call and not call, and you're not going to respond at this time, you're going to wait 3 to 4 days, you're going to wait 9 hours. So there's not a lot of honesty in those games. Later on you could talk about the games are being played and this is what I was doing to you. But there's just not a lot of honesty or being open of what you really want. It's just in the dating world, what do you want from that person? Do you want long term? Do you want just a hookup? Do you want marriage? Do you want to have family? Life partner? What are you looking for? And that will determine how you should respond at the beginning, and what goals you have. Because if one wants to have kids and get married, and the other just wants to have fun and just hook up, it's just not going to work. Maybe it could evolve into something later, but it's not going to be something that if one person wants to have sex, and the other one is just wants to string that person along until they're ready, because maybe they're trying to get over a past relationship and they're just not ready, but they really like the person that they're with, then that becomes complicated, because one lacks patience and the other one lacks confidence, and then one has self-doubts. So then you have challenges on both ends. So when you're together, it's I find it better to empower women and to help guys gain confidence and to believe that they deserve better, whereas women, I would like to see them empowered to where they could be sweet, kind, nice, but they could also be tough and strong when they need to be. So then you have a balance, because both sides, women want a strong guy, but they also want a guy that could show some emotion, if he's angry, if he's upset, that he could shed a tear. She doesn't want that all the time, but there has to, she would want her space. She wouldn't want somebody to care too much, to worry too much, where the person feels so obsessive and just really infatuated. There has to be a balance. So there's a lot of things that people bring into relationships that become problems, and that's why they don't work out. because they never resolve their past challenges. They just say, oh, it was a person's fault. It was that other person's fault, and it's not my fault. It didn't work out. So they tell everybody that. Or they say like things didn't work out because we had, too many challenges. But the thing is that both sides could have problems that they keep recycling into future relationships instead of dealing with them. And I always think it's best to not play games and to be honest and be open, to really discuss, have that discussion about what you want. If you're in a relationship and you're dating, and really like ask them questions about what they like even down to their clothes. Like, do you like when I wear jeans? Do you like when I wear these shoes? Do you like when I wear shorts with black socks and sandals? Or tennis shoes? Like, meaning that if you're doing something that they don't like, wouldn't you want to, like, if you're open about it and you're willing to like make them happy, saying like, what do you like? Like, should I wear a watch or not wear a watch? Should I wear sandals? Just really be open to ask them and be comfortable, because being comfortable, like sharing, you could be vulnerable and share some moments, or show when you're like for women, like to show when you don't have makeup and to feel like that you're exposing yourself and you're not looking your best, and for the guy to compliment you and say you look beautiful, natural, I'd like to see you more like that, because that's the truth, that you want to make them feel beautiful and natural, and to show more of their real self, and not always in makeup and dressed up nice. Like, you want to see them at their most vulnerable moments, because that's when you build that connection. It's not always about when they're just looking beautiful, or they're just looking at their best. We want the good and the bad. We want it's everything. Like, we accept it all. And we love, like, to have like the true love or the unconditional love. And sometimes we don't get that, and we may love, or we just may be together just because the person's supporting us, and we just feel comfortable, and we want to live that comfortable life. But at the same time, it's not really helping us to grow. Ideally, when you get into relationships, that you want someone that understands you, and you want to have similarities, commonalities, to where you could get along and not talk about certain things. Because you know how uncomfortable it is. There's times when I'm driving Uber, because I'm trying to live my dream, so I need that flexibility, as a writer, that there's people that are having conversations about, like, maybe one guy's venting about his tough day at work, complaining about his manager and everything. He didn't deliver on the project, and that he let it go. And then he's talking about the manager, and then like talking down on this guy and stuff. And then all of a sudden he's flipping it to saying that I admire this guy, and this guy is like God and all this. And then you just hear him like this, not really flipping on his conversation. And then maybe the girl's like listening, like after every time he pauses, and it just gets like, you're just thinking, okay, so you're listening to that while you're driving, so you notice that. And then maybe she shares a few things, and then maybe the guy asks something about what she likes to eat, like something that she was to eat earlier, and then pretty much there was nothing after the venting. And maybe she mentioned a few things about her job, and then there was just nothing, because he mentioned something about what she liked to eat, and then he kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, and there was just nothing else. And at the end, he mentioned it again. It was just like, okay, 25 minutes of hearing about this, and then at the end, they had nothing else. If you eliminate the job, they had nothing. It would seem like that they just didn't have no compatibility. And those are the things that you want to know at the beginning. Because if you're with somebody that's like really like not a good fit for you, then most of the time you're just going to like, you're just going to be bored. You're going to get bored, and you don't want to get bored. You always want to do things that are exciting, like trying something new all the time, and to do things that really like look to excite the other person you're with. Like, do things that are spontaneous, and just really try something new every time. Like, just really make it fun. And if you have a lot of similarities, then you're going to enjoy being with that person all the time. And you don't have to be with them all the time, as long as you understand each other and there's a balance. Because balance is everything. And if you have a balance, then you don't always have to be with that person. Like, you could go to your work, you go to a job, and you could do other things, you can hang with your friends, so you don't always have to be with that person. There's an understanding, there's no jealousy, and there's no competition. It's just that we all need our space, sometimes the boundaries as well, but space is important, and that we have to respect the space of our significant other, or when we're dating, to like not like be like suffocating in a way of like showing that we're so vulnerable that now we can't go a day without them, that we're suffering without them, and we can't go like a few hours and we're just like dying, and we can't function, and then our heart is aching and all that. Then that just becomes like obsession and stuff, and that's not the type of relationship that we're going for. And sometimes those people operate in that way, and they always do the same thing every single time. Like, nobody teaches them, and that's how they react to every relationship or every situation that they want to dominate and control. And then they're so weak, and then they might use things against the other so that other person can't end the situation. Like, they're stuck because this person is so weak that they can't go on without that person. So then they use these threats, even like to put fear in the situation so that person can't leave. And that's not the way, like, of like, these are the problems that we're talking about that always persist, and they continue to be a pattern. And what if the other person deserves way better, but they don't realize that they can get better because all they see is bad, and every situation, everything's terrible every single time, and they just don't fix it. They don't fix it, and then they think that that's all they could get, and that's not the way it goes. That's why dating is like almost like a job. Like, you're screening people out and like seeing who you're interested in. The looks is going to attract attention, but it's also like the interest and the chemistry and emotional connection. All that, as time goes on, will develop if it's there to begin with. And it's like when dating coaches go out there and they help someone get someone, then how do you keep them? Because what if, like, is this all based on like, okay, a girl likes a guy because of his looks, or the guy likes the girl because of her looks, or maybe because he likes that she's smart, but then he doesn't like her looks, so he just thinks that because she's smart that she's a great catch, but then maybe she has other things that she's lacking, or maybe he has things that he's lacking. So then they have all these problems. So what keeps them together? Like, how can you be with them for so many years unless you're just looking to just have fun and you just need the dating coach to help you? Because if you're going to spend all that money on dating, for coaching, then are you investing for the life of it, of the relationship? So it's really like, what are you really looking for the future? That's what makes it very important, like kind of how you approach a relationship. Do you want, long term, do you want to have kids? Do you want to fall in love? You believe it's true love, or you just think that they're going to provide for me and that's enough and I can do what I want to do, but I'll never be loved in my life? Like, do you want to be loved? Is that important, to be loved? For someone to actually care for us? To care, like truly care about us, and not for their own needs or for their own selfish wants and desires, where they want to be around us because of how they assume that we make them feel. That's not the way to do it, unless that's what you want. It just really depends on what you want when you're dating. If you just want to just have multiple hookups and you just want to be promiscuous, then do that. Like, whatever you want and makes you happy. Is this that when coaches get people confident to get this person because you have to play all these games, then what is the goal after that? There has to be some type of goal, what do I want out of this relationship? And what I see is that women should be empowered to grow, to always grow, not to be restricted, because guys shouldn't be restricting women or controlling them in a way to where they don't grow, where they remain stagnant at the age that they were when they met them, and that's not good. It's you want to see them grow, and it's if they have to be strong, then that's good. But having a balance of being sweet, kind, nice, and strong, and to have like that that connection. But sometimes they don't have a connection because it's more of like a provider. Because we know the difference between a provider and a lover, but sometimes you can be both, a provider and a lover. But not if you're just a provider, you're just supporting them financially, and that you're just really valuing their looks and not really taking into consideration everything that they could do and everything that they have and like all the value that they have and so many things that they can do. Because we're just really saying like, we just value your looks. That's it. And if we're with you long enough, we may pick up on some other things about you, but mostly it's just your looks. Like it's how you make me feel. So that's what they're basically saying is like your looks and how they make me feel and how people look at me when I'm with you. And that's not what a woman should want. A woman like to be, unless she chooses to do that and she doesn't want to be loved, because she's not going to be loved. She's not going to be loved because the person she's with is not really supporting her the way that she needs. They're just supporting her and providing for her because they know that if she's happy and looking good and pretty, that people are going to be drawn to them. So when they start getting jealous because somebody else comes along and could show them like how to be loved, and they start to get, it starts to, influence them, their confidence. They start getting jealous and stuff because they know that they can't do those things. They're not going to be creative. They're not going to be able to understand love. And it's just their actions. The actions really matter. It's not actions of like, oh, we're spending money and that is actions. Actions matter. It's not money. It's everything that you can do. Because take away the money and some people are just not, they just don't understand love. But we'll discuss this at a later time though. Is this something that I was just thinking about? And I was just had some breakfast and I was talking to a waitress and she was saying that she wasn't able to connect with her husband. Like she can't really open up. And it's just that he doesn't like to hear anything negative and then he shuts. So essentially she has to like refer to him as different things. Like where she can't just directly tell him that, that he's an asshole. Like you'll say you're acting like an asshole. And I don't want you to be that way or something. And it's like this, they could be together for such a long time, but they have no connection in a way of like, she understands what true love is and what she has, it's not. And she understands what unconditional love is and she doesn't have it. So she's pretty much admitting that she doesn't have true love. So is it important to have true love in our life? Like, should we have true love, or should we just settle for anything? Just settle for because we are in a relationship and we don't want to be alone. So we're accepting that this is the best we could get. Or do we want true love that could last a lifetime and we'll always be supportive of each other and just really have that amazing balance and just that understanding? It's like we could just be with the perfect one for us. And when we look at them, that they are perfect. They're perfect for us. Maybe to someone else it's different. To us, they're perfect. And that's what really most of us, I know secretly we want that. We want to be with the one that was meant for us, like with fate, and we want to have that like that movie type of feeling and stuff. But if that's not what we're striving for, then we shouldn't really look in that direction to get something like that, to get a relationship that's true love. But I want to discuss true love at a later time more in detail, because I think it's very interesting on like whether we want true love or not, and is it important to us, and can we live with our entire heart, and can we be faithful when we meet that one that is everything to us. So good luck on your relationships, and I'd like to hear more about what you want. Like, do you believe in true love?